Welcome back, Eric Holman and Jim Smardon of the real estate team. We released a video out earlier this week after we were all kind of blindsided with this new Nova Scotia's first-time home buyers plan with their 2% down pilot program. So we've reached out to our contacts. We've reached out to everybody that we can to try and get more information on this because there was definitely everybody was blindsided. I mean, even credit unions, from what I understand. So that was fun, real fun
Yeah,
to do.
actually, the credit unions were blindsided. This was definitely a Nova Scotia pilot program.
So, as promised, we got you the information right here. Jen, feel free to introduce yourself and say why you're our professional in this aspect.
Yeah, no problem. I own Jenn Mortgages. I'm with Bricks Mortgage, which is across Canada. I work predominantly across Nova Scotia and PEI. I do work in HRM and in rural Nova Scotia, so I will touch on the differences for the program for individuals living outside of HRM. There's some important differences there. And I am a licensed mortgage broker in Nova Scotia and PEI. So I guess we'll just get into the nitty gritty of it and just do a kind of side by side comparison of the 2% pilot and the down payment assistance program. And I think one thing that people aren't talking about, and I think it needs to be said first and foremost right up front, is that the 2% pilot program is a mortgage product. That means it has your standard 25-year amortization. It's a mortgage, okay? It's done through our credit unions. Whereas the down payment assistance program, that is a 10-year interest-free loan that goes alongside a mortgage program product. So you have two payments. You have your down payment assistance program loan and you have your mortgage product. So it's really important to know the difference between those two things and understand why we have two different products and what the pilot actually is. So when you're looking at the down payment assistance, let's say you're an HRM and you do a $500,000 home purchase. Okay, you can do up to 570, but let's say you do 500,000. You will have 0% down. So that 5% payment is coming from that down payment assistance loan, which you will pay alongside your mortgage. Okay, and it is interest free for 10 years. Again, it's 10 years. Side note, if you decide to sell that home within that period of time, you owe that total, just so everybody's aware. If you're doing the $500,000 purchase through the 2% pilot program, you need to have 2% of $500,000 to pay towards your purchase. Okay. The rest of it is inside of the mortgage. So your mortgage will be 98% of the total. Okay. That's an important distinction. Some big things to note here and what will kind of draw some people to one program and others to another are the key differences for qualifications. So with the down payment assistance program, you're looking at $145,000 total capped income for the family or individual that is applying. Whereas it's $200,000 when you're going for the 2% down program. That's pretty big when it comes to differences in income, and it may draw certain individuals to one or the other. If you're looking at the purchase price cap, which is pretty cool, it's up to $1,000 in HRM for both programs, so the exact same. But as soon as you look at purchasing outside of HRM, there's some massive differences. You're looking at $500,000 across the board for across Nova Scotia, whereas there's a price cap that differentiates from $300,000 to $375,000 depending on the region. That's a massive purchase difference. So if you're doing your down payment assistance program and you want a $500,000 home, then you have to have the 5% down payment for the additional amount. So if you're in my area, around Kempville, Wolfville area, you'll pay $375,000. You'll have the down payment assistance program. That extra $125,000, you need to have the 5% of that down to go with that. Okay. If you're looking at your $500,000 in your 2% program, it stays the exact same. So that's going to be where you draw and you see where certain clients are going to want to go one way or the other. Your interest payments are the ones that have kind of got the big glow up and what's happening and the big conversation in our industry. With the down payment assistance program, you have market rates. So you have access to multiple different lenders and differing rates that could be anywhere between 3.7 and 4.4% currently. Don't quote me on those numbers. I'm not looking at rate sheets, but it could be anywhere in there. Then you go plus your premium. Okay, you will pay an insurance premium on your mortgage. Then you go over onto the 2% side, and you're looking at prime plus 2 over the entirety of that mortgage. So if it's $500,000, then it's the 98% of that total by 6.45% roughly right now. But you don't have the insurance premium. So there is some big differences there, and there is some value adds. At the end of the day, you have to crunch the numbers on both sides to see which one is actually going to be advantageous to the client. The client can work directly with the credit unions. You are limited to the credit unions with the 2% program, which is a suggestion from me to work with a mortgage broker to know which one's better for you. Because the qualifications are much higher using CMHC qualification. It's also important to distinguish that the credit score may actually attract certain individuals as well. With the new pilot program, it's now only 630 to qualify, whereas in the down payment assistance program, you're looking at 650. I think that kind of covers roughly the differences between the two. Key differences being a mortgage versus a loan, as well as those purchase price caps that are going to kind of direct individuals into one area or the other. And the fact that when you have multiple lenders and you have multiple variations in interest rates, it's a variable that needs to be actually looked at on a case-by-case basis per individual to find out which program is actually going to suit them if they do qualify for both. I know I just confused a lot of people.
I just, no, well, my
And that's
big
okay.
one
We're going to have questions. That's okay.
yeah, no,
Yeah, we
like the
definitely
difference
are.
between the loan, like where one's a loan, one's a mortgage, right? But with mortgages, you can usually get, your variable or locked in. Do you have a choice with the other one?
I would have to clarify that. I believe that you can do the variable option. I'm talking about fixed options side by side just to keep things really, really simple.
Yep. No, I was just
Um,
curious.
yeah. And I believe you can, don't quote me on that. We would have to contact the credit union. I have not been able to ask every single individual question.
Yeah, just
Um, yeah, there's a lot of questions to ask, and there's a lot of minute details that have not really been released in terms of, you know, what is possible and what isn't possible within the program. So it again, we got to get a few of these through to really know the nitty gritty of it. But on the surface, these are the differences between the two programs.
yeah. And how many are there actually? Like, because that's the thing where it's a pilot program is like there's a cap on how many people are actually going to get through on it, right?
Yeah, when I talked to our credit union representative here, they were saying it's a 650 person application. So they're taking 650 applicants. Um, Now, again, it's a pilot program. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
right now, that is what it is. However, it's a pilot program. So Nova Scotia can
Tangents,
come
yeah.
back and update things and change things. But right now, as it stands, it's 650 applications.
Yeah, and because you mentioned like it's a pilot program, I did read somewhere the other day, someone was questioning why was it only being offered to first-time home buyers, and basically the comment back was because it's a pilot. They're trying to see what happens if this will work, and if it does, then they might expand it outside of first-time home buyers to offer it further on. So that's something, it's if
And another big
again,
thing is that's who we're trying to get into homes right now. We have more people unable to be
yeah,
first-time home buyers than we've ever seen.
yeah. So
And
it's
there's an
it's the
important
logical spot to
distinction. Like
start.
there is a distinction, and what Nova Scotia is trying to accomplish with this program, to my knowledge, is that they're trying to bring individuals that may have not been able to come to market for another 1 to 2 years and bring them to market now. So really, these people have already been preparing for purchase. They're ready. They've been saving, and they just need to save for that 5% down payment, and they've been holding back. This is trying to encourage those people to get into the market, to get in early and help them to transition a little bit sooner. It's it's an interesting pilot project in that aspect. And again, it is a pilot project. Nova Scotia's throwing things out there and trying to make it stick. Go Nova
Yeah.
Scotia. Like, we're trying something.
What's because I know with the members in the house, it can have like because we were talking before about trying to like see if say my friend's mother could go in on the mortgage with them or how that would work. And right now it's seeming like it's married or living together for
Yeah,
a
condo
certain
To
home.
amount of time or
applicants must be either living together for at least 12 months or married. It seems like they've made that the stipulation. Again, they're
Uh-huh.
targeting certain individuals to get them into market. I'm not sure why they have that clause in there.
pilot.
It's a pilot. They that could change. So this could be 650 applications, and everyone complains about this aspects, or bankers give feedback, and they make a change to it. Again, it's a pilot
Right.
program. It's the start.
Yeah. So, I'm reading about the down payment assistance program. They do allow the mortgage plus improvements with that program. Do you have any indication if they're going to be able to do that with this program as well? The 2% down payment?
Yep, they can
They
stack.
can.
Yep,
They can stack.
yep.
Perfect.
So if you have the the savings accounts and things like that, you can use those with this product. Yeah. The thing is with this one's that you're limited to working with the credit union. So the credit union
Right.
has partnered with Nova Scotia to work with this. And the other program, I have access to all lenders or
Hmm.
a plethora of lenders that are approved by Nova Scotia and listed as accessible for this program. Whereas this one is specifically just done through the credit union.
Um, so basically, just because we're just want to keep this short, we don't want to steal your busy time and all that. Um, three main points that people should take away from this. What would you say the top three are, especially with so much of the exact same thing being regurgitated right now? Just the
Hmm.
top three things that maybe people are missing or would be unaware of if they just jump right on it.
I think the number one is that this is a mortgage and loan versus a mortgage product. So a lot of people aren't talking about that. So knowing what the difference is and what you're actually entering into makes a big difference, because one's a 10-year interest free repayment of that down payment. That's only 10 years. Whereas the other one is a 25-year mortgage for all of the amount being borrowed. Second is the household income. So the household income is a significant difference for 145,000 to 200,000, especially if you're living in HRM and purchasing an HRM to be able to qualify to purchase those homes. Um, of course, the market rates, but I feel like that's been touched on too much. I think for me is recognizing the caps on the purchase value is where the real value add is for anyone in rural Nova Scotia. Having a $500,000 cap versus 300 or 375 is a sizable difference for people coming to market.
Yeah.
And that's something that we should really focus on in terms of what client is best for this. When you talk to your mortgage broker, they're going to give you advice on your interest rates and your costs and your premiums and break that down with you. Whereas when you're coming in and wanting to know more about these products, I think for the consumer themselves, knowing those 3 points ahead are actually what's important to them.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
I hope I didn't confuse anybody too much.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, it's
I'm
going
gonna
to.
be editing this, so I'm gonna be re-listening. I'll probably have another question or two. Same with
Listen,
other
they can
people.
reach
Like,
out to me. I'm a mortgage broker. This is what I do. I like the numbers. You don't have to memorize the numbers. I do that for you.
that's right. And that's why we have people like you that we surround ourselves with, because we're not the mortgage specialists. We know your rules change. Your everything can change on a whim, as we see even this past week with this program. So that's why, I mean, we wanted to do this. We wanted to get that first video out quick because there was so many questions, and there's a lot of misrepresentation and information being sent out online right now that nobody nobody's really diving into it at that point.
Yeah, there's
Everyone's
a
just
lot of
like
people
share, share, share.
consulting ChatGPT right now and spitting out
Yes.
information.
Yeah.
So let's
Also,
not
a lot of
consult ChatGPT. Talk to your credit
yeah,
union
talk to real
representatives
people.
or talk to
Mm.
your mortgage brokers. They're going to get you real information and actually get the information that you need, not just the broad scope from ChatGPT.
Yeah,
I'm
because at the end of the day, it's about education and knowing what options you have and what's the best option for you at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I find a lot
exactly.
of people also don't know that first-time homebuyer doesn't actually mean first-time homebuyer. There is a
No.
time limit from when you bought your last home that you
Yeah.
Yeah.
re-qualifies,
Yeah.
Jim, this
and a
is
lot
why
of
you're
people
not
don't
just
know
a
that.
pretty face, man. This
I
is why,
know.
right
I
there.
pay attention. I do, I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, there's ways around it. There is different, programs happening, and we've changed rules and we're ever evolving. Go Nova Scotia for evolving, because really I love seeing this go in a direction. And there's a lot of individuals that have opinions on this and what the program is, and if it's good for everybody, and they're going to have those opinions, but we're trying new things, and that's wonderful. But we still have a plethora of other lenders. This is just one program. There are so many other programs that are available for first-time home buyers and other home buyers for their down payment assistance. This is just two examples.
Exactly.
Yep. So, reach out to Jen for more examples.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, well, thank you, Jen. It did clarify a few things for us. I did find out yesterday as well. One of our big questions was, were these programs running together, like side by side, or if one was squashing the other?
So
But
you
I did find
can't do
out
the
they
down
are
payment assistance
not
program
not
and the
together. But
pilot. Yeah,
but
those
but
two
my
can't go
our
together.
original question was like, was this replacing the other one? Right? We didn't have any information day one of when this came out. So that I did find out. So that's the thing. It's like you said, you know, Nova Scotia is at least giving options, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, they're not taking away the old
It's new.
option. Again, it's just a pilot program. What they do in the future, well, that's we're all gonna roller coaster for that one.
We'll
One
find
day
out the
we'll
day it happens, like everyone else.
exactly, yeah. We'll all wake up to the
Yeah.
same news.
And at the end
Uh,
of the day, you should use the product that is best for the client. And this product is not for every client, period. It isn't. But it could be really advantageous for some. So, I mean, I understand the curiosity for it. It's a really cool idea, and I think it'll work for a lot of people.
well, thank you again, Jen, for taking some time out of your day to join us for this and help us trying to educate our clients and our viewers.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.
All right, have a good one. Thanks.